Soy Eva Ramos de noticine.com. Hi, Mark. I'm Eva. Very pleased to meet you. First of all, congratulations for the film. It's very touching. And I want to ask you, because Natalie has previously directed a project of yours and your brother Jay's, Room 104. Why do you decide that language lessons should be directed by her alone? Was it her project? How did the idea of working together in this project come about?
Yeah, so I was taking Spanish lessons with an institute online in Guatemala during the lockdown. And I noticed something very interesting, which is that I was sort of deeply connecting with my Spanish teacher because we were supposed to be taking conversational lessons, but neither of us liked to do small talk. So we went very, it was muy profundo very quickly. And so I thought, wow, this is interesting. So I love Natalie as a friend, and I've always wanted to act with her on screen. So I called her and I said, hey, I think there could be a movie here where I play a Spanish student, you play my teacher, some sort of connection happens online. And she said, yes, let's do it. So very quickly, we wrote an outline and then we were shooting, and then within 4 weeks, the whole thing was done.
Okay, thank you. You and Natalie wrote the script for the film. Was there a lot of improvisation or in the final dialogues, or did you stick to the previous script?
Yeah, so we shot the whole movie mostly from an outline. We scripted some scenes the night before, particularly when the Spanish was very difficult, so that we could have a little practice. But we liked the idea that, I've never acted in my second language before in Spanish, and that while I was improvising, yo no tengo muchas palabras en español, ¿sí? Entonces, cuando yo estoy tratando a explicar algo y yo no tengo las palabras, es muy interesante, ¿sí? And you make mistakes and funny things happen, but also it gets frustrating. And so it was really challenging and new for me to be able to do that. And so that was one of the reasons why we did it really quickly, so that I wouldn't be prepared, and we just let the mistakes naturally happen.
Had you ever fall in love platonically or not with someone you only knew online?
It's a good question. I've never had romantic love online, but what I will say is that I'm married and I have 2 kids, and all the romantic part of my love and falling in love, that's taken care of. That's never going to happen. So I don't get to fall in love anymore, right? But what happens when I'm making art and getting to know someone is that you start to connect on this very, very deep level. And it feels similar to the butterflies and the excitement you feel when you're falling in romantic love. And I've come to really rely on that to keep me young and fresh and exciting. So, when I make a movie like Paddleton with Ray Romano, we fall in love with each other for a little while doing that platonically, and with Sarah Paulson and Blue Jay, and Es la misma cosa por language lessons y Natalie, and that's the reason why we also wanted to make the movie about amor platónico en vez de amor romántico, porque es un poquito más original, pero lo más importante es que amor platónico para mí, para Natalie, es más complicado que amor romántico para mantener, porque no es una ruta o un calle claro para conducir el coche del amor platónico. You never know when to say I love you, or if it's safe to do those things. So and I hadn't seen a movie that truly explored friendship, love, just that aspect of it. So that was also exciting.
Okay. In the film, human relationships and mutual support are about social differences. What message do you want to convey with that?
Well, during the lockdown, that house we shot in, that was my house. Big, expensive house that I bought with money I had made in this industry. And I felt very strange having all this wealth while people were going through such hard times. So that was an element I wanted to bring to the character of Adam. And I think that white guilt is very funny. It's a very funny thing to explore. And I like the idea of Adam trying to at sometimes be a savior for Cariño and get it wrong. Because I do that too sometimes in my life, and it's well-intentioned, but it's awkward. So I thought that while it's not the main storyline, would be a fun element to add to it.
Okay. All the characters that appear belong to a minority that suffers discrimination in the US. Do you think that this situation could actually happen, or would the film be equally believable if your character had been a rich white man, cis hetero?
So I think the most important element of why Adam, should have been a gay character and why we made him that way is that when you watch a movie about two people connecting, because of the history of cinema, you automatically raise one question in your mind. Are they going to get together romantically? When there is a man and a woman on screen, that is just all you think about. And we did not want anybody to be thinking about that. If this movie has anything special to offer, it's that it is an intense study of platonic love and not romantic love. And so we wanted people to know right away that romantic love was off the table. And so that's why we essentially made him, a gay character. But then after we had made that decision, we were able to pull more threads from it, that he was a closeted gay character, and it took him a while to come out, and that caused him some pain and distrust in his life. So we were able to use that element to sort of further develop the plot in other areas.
Okay. Do you think that the key of any human relationship is not judging and accepting people as they are, like Adam does with Cariño?
It's an important part, I think that one thing great about Adam is that he's very loyal and he sees Cariño as she is, but Adam is not perfect. Adam comes on too strong. And he is trying to save her because he sees her in pain, and he's trying to save her from the kind of pain that he has had himself. And he has to learn how to be on her level and be with her and not try to just save her. And so that's part of his growth. But what I do love about the way that Adam and Cariño communicate is that their first instinct when one of them has a hard time is to lean right in and be there. There's something we call the fight or flight impulse in English, where if you see a bear in the woods, what do? Do you fight or do you run? And that's not an intellectual decision, that's your instinct. And Adam and Cariño, when it comes to relationships, when they see pain, when they see hurt, they go in. And I love that about them.
Me too.
Yeah.
The last question. Natalie makes a very accurate critique of preconceived ideas about Latinos in the US, but also about Latina women. Do you think there needs to be more Latina filmmakers, screenwriters, and directors who break with those prejudices?
I love what Natalie is doing, and I can't necessarily speak to that because she really has thought so much and so deeply about what it is that she represents and how to do that correctly. But I know that my job and what I can do as a production company is, in a case of a movie like Language Lessons, I guess I could have directed this movie. That's what I've done before, but to me, what's more important now is to share the creation of the movie with someone like Natalie, who I really believe is a better director than I am, and hasn't had as much of a platform. And I can still be a part of it as a producer and a writer, as an actor, but really let her take the lead. And I would like to see more of that.
Okay, thank you very much. It was the last question. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Eva.